Hey, Fye Finance family, welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Tuesday. So, the month of September is Preparedness Month, right? And so, every week we've been coming before you and providing you with some things to prepare for, right? The unexpected or maybe the planned. We started off with preparing financially for a storm, and then we talked about preparing for adulthood, and then talking about preparing for a growing family. And now we're talking about preparing for retirement, which is always my favorite because I am so looking forward to retiring one day, and I'm trying to do it sooner than later, which I'm sure most of you can agree. So hopefully we have some people logged on. I know that we had a lot of shares building up to today's post. So hopefully we have a lot of people logging on who are excited to hear about how we can prepare now for retirement. Hey, Casey. So we definitely have some people that are interested in this topic, I'm sure. Hey, Earl, thank you for logging on. And we have a special guest that's going to help me out with this topic. Her name is Sierra Thomas. She is with New York Life. She is a financial professional with New York Life. And when I met Sierra, it was through a person, of a person, I guess, if you will. So I'm a member of the Henry County Board of Chamber of Commerce, I should say. So I went there to an event, networked with a lot of cool people there, met someone, told him a little bit about what I was doing, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I got a perfect person that you need to connect with. She likes doing things like this." So I connected with her on that aspect with them, with having her in mind as being a guest eventually, right? But didn't know like when or where we were gonna work it in, and look at God, like things just came together, and we were able to get her on sooner than I thought. And so when I confronted her, or I should say approached her about the opportunity, she was super excited to share what she does because she's passionate about helping people too. Just like we are here at Fye Finance, we're all about educating people, especially in the journey of your financial literacy. And so part of doing so is also planning for retirement, right? That's part of your financial literacy journey and education. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Sierra Thomas. Sierra, welcome. Oh, let's see if we can get her back on. Um, so while Sierra is trying to connect, what I'm going to talk about is a little bit about the tools that I have used personally. Oh, Sierra, here we are. So Sierra, let's see if you can log off and log back on using your phone. So I think she's trying to connect now. Let's see. Sierra, can you hear me? Hey, Sierra.
One second.
Okay. Let's see. 1 second. Okay, I can't hear you. Sierra, you're muted. I can't hear you yet. Let's see. See if you can unmute yourself, and it looks like you froze too. So let's see if you can log on, maybe using your cell phone. All right. So while Sierra is logging back on, I definitely want to talk to you about the tools that I have personally used in my career of being an accountant, working for corporate America, working for other businesses, and then some tools that I've gotten into as a small business owner that have a bunch of tax benefits. So, the first tool that I was introduced to maybe about 17 years ago now was a 401k plan, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the 401k plan. It's usually something that your employer offers to employees, and you yourself can make contributions to this plan, and your employer can make contributions to the plan as well. Usually, when you have a 401k plan through your business, your employer will offer like a match, a dollar for dollar match, up into a certain percentage. And so that is the plan that I have first became introduced to when I was preparing for retirement. Another plan that's out there is a IRA plan. Okay, so the IRA plan is another retirement plan. It allows you to contribute to a retirement fund, and your employer can contribute to the fund as well. Okay. With both plans, there are contribution limits that change year over year. There are also contribution limits that change according to your age. And then the IRA plan has what we call a Roth. You can get a Roth IRA, which means that your contributions grow tax free because you're prepaying the taxes on the contributions. Okay, so when you make that withdrawal tax free. When you make contributions to traditional 401ks, traditional IRAs, then they grow tax deferred. Okay, so you will be paying taxes when you actually go to make that withdrawal. So upon your retirement, right? So what I usually tell people from a tax perspective is you have to look at um, what you're making now, like the tax bracket that you're in now, versus the tax bracket that you may be in the future. Okay. So if you're at a lower tax bracket now, like you're in the 12, low 20s, I would say, well, pay the taxes on your retirement contributions now. Because in the future, maybe you're going to be at a higher tax bracket. Okay. So that's how I tell people to consider like which one is going to be right for them. So without further ado, we're going to bring Sierra on, the expert in retirement planning. And Sierra is going to be talking about some tools that she has used and has helped others use to plan their retirement, and some tools that I myself have never like even considered using, and that's one of life insurance. But I'm gonna yield the floor to Sierra. Sierra, what we were talking about is just the tools that I have used, like the 401k, the IRAs, and I was telling them the difference between the Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA and a traditional 401k, how one grows your money tax deferred and the other one grows your money tax free. And so we were just talking about like how to choose what's going to work best for you. And I told them it's really about your tax bracket, right?
Mm-hmm.
The key is to make sure you're paying is least amount of taxes possible, right? Like that's what we all want
Right.
to do. So without prolonging it any further, I will yield the floor to you. And you can feel free to introduce yourself again, and feel free to also let us know how you help people plan for retirement.
Okay, no problem. Hi, everyone. I apologize. I don't know what was going on. My internet went out, but it's okay. I figured it out.
No worries.
So retirement. Retirement is an awesome subject to speak about. You were right in terms of the different types of retirement. So we know about 401k, we know about IRAs, which are individual retirement accounts. We know about pension plans that's matched by your employer as well. The thing that a lot of people don't know about those particular retirement accounts, except for a Roth IRA, there are different types of Roth IRA. Two of the most popular are traditional and Roth. I'm sorry, there are two types of IRAs. Two of the most popular are traditional and Roth. Traditional IRAs, 401ks, we talk about pension plans. Those type of retirement plans are pre-tax. So when you talk about saving a buck for your dollar, whatever, pre-tax basically means that you build the money up over time, and by the time you get ready to take it out, it's taxed. Well, nowadays the highest tax bracket that you can pay is 37%. Back in the day, it used to be 70, but now the tax brackets are broken up different. So when we talk about retirement, the biggest thing is taxes. We all know that life happens and that sort of thing. And when life happens, sometimes you may need to touch your money ahead of time. Well, if you touch your money ahead of time in those products, then you are tax penalized. We also have after tax products, and Roth IRA is one of them, but another one is what I like to call CVLI, which is cash value life insurance. And what that means is a Roth IRA, you can contribute to it. It's income tax free, but you can take out of it income tax free as well. But you can only contribute up to $6,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, well, we give you free money, but after a certain threshold, we're going to charge you.
Right.
With the CVLI, I like to call that a super Roth IRA.
Okay.
What that means is it's a life insurance policy, but the cash value grows on top of your life insurance policy, but it grows at an income tax free threshold. You can contribute as much as you want to contribute. You can take out when you get ready to take it out. The only thing is, instead of paying your taxes after your money has occurred, you pay your taxes inside of your premium every month.
Mm. Okay.
So, what I've been doing for a lot of my clients is I'll say, well, first off, I look at the client. How long do you have before you retire?
Mm-hmm.
What do you already have in place for retirement? And
Mm-hmm.
I like to do what we call an asset management just to see where the person's assets are placed and why. And after I do that, then I say, well, we'll customize you a plan for a certain amount of years. So we may customize a plan for 10 years.
Okay.
If I customize a person a plan for 10 years, what I'm saying is if you retire in, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Your screen is frozen, but I think we can hear you. Okay, we can't hear you now, Sierra. We lost you. Okay, so while Sierra jumps back on CVL, like she was mentioning, it is a life insurance policy, but has the benefit of a retirement plan built in. And so it sounds like it can offer some tax benefits as well, because it looks like you're paying the taxes or you're prepaying taxes, very similar to like a Roth IRA account. So Sierra is back with us, so I'll let her continue talking to us about the CVL. Okay, Sierra, we hear you, we see you.
Okay, can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'll customize a person a plan for 10 years. And if I
Mm-hmm.
customize a person a plan for 10 years, what I'm basically saying is if a person is 55 years old, but they retire by the age of 65, that's saying by the time you're 65 years old, in 10 years, you will have enough for retirement.
Hmm. Okay.
And that's pretty much it. The person gets a return, maybe
Mm-hmm.
of 8%,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it.
Okay, and 8% is pretty standard. I think when you look at the stock market, it's trending at about 7 to 10% right now. It's fluctuating a lot. So 8%
It's
is Yep. So 8% is pretty standard. So we had a question from the audience, Sierra.
mm-hmm.
Casey was asking what agencies offer CVL.
It's CVLI. And I work for New York Life. A lot of the time, it's mutual life insurance companies that offer that type of product because we can customize it according to whatever the client needs.
Okay.
And I understand with the stock market, with it being an 8% return, but when you look at a lot of the products that you invest in, after the taxes are taken out, you're actually pocketing 3 to 4%. You're not
Hmm.
taking home full 8%. But with the
Right.
CVLI, you are taking home the full 8%.
Oh wow, even better. And you're able to do that because you're prepaying the taxes.
Right.
Right. Right. Even better. So when you were saying how you customize the plan, so Earl says, I think I have one of those. I would definitely like to get her business contact information. So see, you already got somebody who you're gonna connect with after the live. Earl will be sure to share all of Sierra's information after the live for sure. So Sierra, with the CLVI that you customize for your clients, right?
Hmm.
You're saying that you customize them based on the date that they want to retire or based on the age that they want to retire. So are you making like their portfolio a little more aggressive or so that they take more risk or like how does that customization process work?
Okay, so New York Life has what we call an annual asset reallocation.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is we do the opposite. So we buy low and sell high.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sounds crazy, but every year that's what we do. And that guarantees that whatever return the person has,
Mm-hmm.
they get it.
Oh,
They
okay.
get always put,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so because we do that, I can look at a person like New York Life offers an internal rate of return of 4% with a 3% dividend as well.
Wow. Okay.
So the money that you're getting is guaranteed because of the way that they do it. You're always taking home something. So when we talk in terms of aggressive, moderate, and safe, it's a safe product.
Mm-hmm.
But what we like to do is we compare it to those pre-tax products. Because it's after tax, you're getting the same return that you would get on those pre-tax products in the aggressive area.
Right.
But it's safe.
Right. Okay, that's cool. And so, for somebody like me, let's say I'm trying to retire early. Um, so I only got 10 good years. I'll give myself 10 good years left in me, Sierra. So I came to you and I say, hey, I want to retire at the age of 55. I want to do it before 60. What type of plan can you put me in? So how would that look like for me as far as a contribution rate every month or every year? I don't know how often I would have to contribute, but what does that look
That is
like for
great.
me?
That is a great question. So if you're any good investment, because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it is an investment,
Correct.
you're not going to see your return to the 10-year mark anyway.
Right.
A good investment is 10, 15 years. Now,
Right.
what I would tell somebody who's 55, almost 60, well, you will see a little bit of return in your money by then, but
Right.
it won't be the return you're looking for.
Right.
Now, if you already have like a Roth IRA or something,
Right.
it's good to keep that in your bucket while your money is building on the back end. The earlier, the better. Um,
Okay.
Now, as far as payments are concerned, that's customizable to the person. Men might be a little bit more expensive than the
Okay.
woman, but it's also based off what return are they specifically looking for or what return do they need. Because we'll also look at the other, say if they do have other retirement avenues like a 401k or a pension plan,
Right.
how much are they worth?
Okay.
Um, yeah, so we'll look at all those things. The goal is not to get rid of those, it's just to make sure that the person is tax diversified so where they're not hurting as much in their pocket if they need to access it earlier than their retirement age.
Y'all heard that? Fye Finance family, tax diversified. I love it. Because when you think about investments, right, you want to have a diversified portfolio. What she's doing is mitigating the risk. That's all she's doing. But she's doing it through products like life insurance. Who knew, right? Mind blowing. And so, definitely something that I'm interested in, and I think that we can all take advantage of. So we definitely need to have a conversation off camera, Sierra, because I do
Yes.
have like 401ks, IRA accounts, but it would definitely sound like it would be beneficial for me to learn more about a CLVI account as well to see how I can diversify my tax portfolio. So Casey says yes, tax diversified. Sign me up. We also had a question I think from Wayne. Wayne asked, when is the best time to start planning for retirement? Sierra, I heard you say sooner than later. I usually
Mm-hmm.
tell my people. So Sierra, I'm a little different, right? Because of my background in finance, I've already started my kids' retirement plan, right?
Very,
And so,
very, yeah,
what was that?
very smart.
Right. And so they can continue it, right, when they become of age, or they can cash it out, do whatever. But I said I wanted to at least give them a start so that the seed is planted at an early age because I always feel like the sooner you start, the harder your money works for you, right?
Right.
And so, but I would love to hear your thought on it. When is the best time to start planning, Sierra?
as soon as possible, the same way you
Right.
said. See, so many are super late, or they'll leave their job. They have nothing to show for it. Even if you're employed, you want to get something outside of your job. It's COVID. Anything
Right.
can happen. We've
Mm.
seen that. We lose everything we have because we invest our all into our 9 to 5. Or even if we start our business and our business doesn't work out, we have nothing to show for it. At
Mm.
least have something. I meet so many people who are, it's too late. The retirement that they want, they can't even afford it
Wow.
because it's too long.
Right. And with this, with the CLVI, let's say I was someone who was self employed, right? I'm still
Mm-hmm.
able to open up this account and make those tax beneficial contributions to this particular account, being self
You
employed.
you sure are. You're
Wow.
able to open. Do is I actually build portfolios for people. So I had one guy when I first started with New York Life. He
Mm-hmm.
was 49. We started him a plan. He was self-employed. Um, and I did multiple plans for him. So it wasn't just one CVLI, it was multiple ones
Wow.
because that's the return that he was looking for. So I think maybe he pays like $400 a month, but he
Which is
has like
not
three different
bad.
plans.
Right.
He has different plans in that $400.
Wow. And he started at the age of 49.
hmm
So you see, guys, I mean, I'm assuming he probably has to be a little more aggressive because he kind of started late in the game, but he may have some other avenues too that he's using. But it sounds like it's very much affordable because when I think about what I was contributing per month as an employee to the employer 401k account, it's very much the same. And it
hmm
seems like the benefits here are a little better than the benefits that I was getting through my employer because, again, my money was growing tax deferred, not necessarily tax free.
Right.
And
And
so we
say this.
had a comment or a question from Earl Sierra. So Earl said, I had
Mhm.
a New York life agent. He set me up with something that sounds similar. How can I find out for sure?
I'll take a look at it. I'll
Okay.
contact my manager if we can take a look at his profile. That's not a problem.
Okay, Earl. So, Earl, after the live, we'll have all of Sierra's contact information on the screen. Make sure you stay into the very end so you can get that information and connect with Sierra definitely to look at your portfolio and see what kind of package you're in. And if you're not in the right one, I'm sure Sierra can put you in the right package based on what you're trying to do. So this is great, Sierra. I promise you, I never thought about using life insurance as a retirement tool. So let me ask you a question. Since you are essentially buying a life insurance policy, is your life insurance side of it, is it term or is it whole life? Like how does that work?
So the CVLI is actually a customized whole life plan.
Okay. Okay.
So after the person, say if the person is using it as a supplement for retirement,
Right.
after that 10 years, however long they want to keep it threshold, whatever they don't use can be used as a death benefit for their family. Their family would still get that money income tax free. And I also want to say something as well. If it's a person who is not just self-employed, but anybody who is looking to get this sort of plan, we also add enhancements to it, and we call those riders.
Okay.
So if somebody is sick, say if somebody has a policy and they end up getting sick, right? Not only will their payments be waived after a 6 month period, but we also say since you're sick, we're gonna pay you out of a $90,000 threshold
Mm-hmm.
monthly, so the person can get it. Like, say if they need to get $1,800 a month, they
Mm-hmm.
would pay them outside of the death benefit $1,800 a month, so that person is then covered for disability. They don't have to go through the government to apply for it.
Wow. Wow. So not only Is it a life insurance policy, a retirement tool? But it's also like long term insurance, like, right? You know how you have that long term, short term
Right.
disability that you can get through your job. Wow. So that's amazing. That's awesome. Casey had a question. He says, "Do you require like a medical examination in order to qualify for the policy?"
Yeah, so because it's a life insurance policy, you
Okay.
do. It's two different parts to go through. The first part is a phone application, a phone interview you have to go through
Okay.
after you do the initial application through me, where they ask you your health questions. Now, if it's a circumstance where you go to the doctor often, we more than likely can pull the person's medical exam. But the
Okay.
medical exam that the person normally has is 100% free. We pay for it. They can either come to you or you can go to them, and then you're done with your process. But the cool thing is, it's like a one time done thing. I'm the type
Okay.
of person, I'm relationship based. So I'm always going to update everything, but you'll never have to go to the doctor and do the underwriting process again. So I
Wow.
think that's awesome.
That is awesome. Cool. So you heard it, Fye Finance family. You connect with Sierra trying to get one of these products. She's that's the only person you will have to talk to forever, ever. So Earl says, does it earn dividends?
Yeah, so you get a 4% internal rate of return with a
Mm-hmm.
3% dividend. And
Okay, Earl. So you heard that your dividends will be 3%, and the internal rate of return is 4%. And those dividends that we're earning, are the dividends also tax free, or is that going to be treated like passive income at the end of the year when you file your
that's actually
taxes?
treated as that's treated as passive income, but you can
Right.
still, what's so crazy about it is the interest that occurs on it. Say how it works. If a person wants to take out $50,000 from the cash that they've already occurred, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
not taxed then, even if the dividends are inclusive. The only
Oh,
time
okay.
they're treated as taxable is if you take out so much of your money to where it then becomes a loan. The dividends have to pay back the loan, whatever you take. Say
Mm,
if you have to borrow some of the death benefit. So a lot
right.
of people try to borrow only the cash value, but the cash value ends up being so high that it pays for a lot of things.
Right, right. So that works very similar to like a Roth account, or I should say an IRA account. Because with the IRA account, you can make withdrawals on that account as long as it doesn't exceed what you've already contributed. So it sounds like it's very similar in that manner. And you're
It
not
is, but stipulations are so much higher with the
okay.
cash value.
Wow, that's awesome. So Earl says he thinks he has that. Okay, good. Well, Earl, definitely connect with Sierra to confirm, right? Because we want to make sure that you are in good hands. Well, Sierra, this has been a pleasure. I have learned a lot. I'm sure the Fye Finance family has learned a lot too. We had a lot of questions, so that's good. A lot of engagement. So, Fye Finance family, please, 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 right? Make sure that you are fully covered. I always say, when it comes to things like investing or planning for your retirement, it's good to have a lot of irons in the fire, right? So it's good to have a diverse portfolio, diversified portfolio, and so you definitely don't want to just leave it to like one 401k, one IRA. You know, maybe you want to consider the CLVI now, right? So Casey says, how long does it take to set up? That's a good question, Casey. How long does it take to set up Sierra?
Not long at all. I put the initial application in. So once I meet with you, we'll do an asset analysis. I normally try not to keep my clients in too long unless we just talking a lot.
Right.
But for the most part, the application process is maybe 10-15 minutes, the initial application process. They take the first month premium,
Okay.
and then you go through the underwriting process. That first month premium, though, constitutes as your first month once you get approved.
Okay.
So it may take a couple of months to actually get approved, but once you get approved, I deliver your hard copy to you,
Mm-hmm.
and congratulations, you go from there.
So, what are some, you said once you get approved? So, since this is sort of like a life insurance policy, I'm assuming that there are some maybe pre existing conditions that may not approve you for this type of policy. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the only
Okay.
pre-existing that they actually don't approve is if you take insulin, if you
Okay.
have cancer, or if you have HIV. Now, the thing about New York Life, though, is it's so many things that New York Life does for their people. So, like, they have a reinsurance team. If
Okay.
somebody applies for a policy and New York Life says no, they're going to go through every insurance team in the country to say, we'll pay you if you get this person approved. I think that's dope.
Wow. That is
But it's
dope.
also circumstances to where I've had clients get declined and I fight for them. I push them through a second review and they end up getting approved.
Okay.
Um, so it's a lot of things that I personally do for my clients because I have their best interest at heart. At the end of the day,
Right.
it's more than just a life insurance policy to me. It's retirement. It's your life. It's money to live off on. So I'm
Right.
gonna do my best to fight for you to get approved. Yeah.
Right. Right. This is definitely different from, back in the day where somebody came knocking on your door trying to sell you insurance. Like, this is a different type of feel. Like, this feels like it really is going to be a benefit to you, that you can use now. Not necessarily that your loved ones will be able to benefit from only. So, Earl had a
Right.
comment. He says, I haven't contributed to it in a while. How would that affect it?
I would have to look at your specific policy to see
Okay.
what's going on. They might not have set you up in the CVLI. It could have been a universal life. I don't know. So when we take a look at your profile, I will be able to answer that specifically to you because everybody is different.
Okay. Cool. And so if it's a whole life insurance policy, this is a question that I just have off the top of my head. So it's good until I die, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. Okay. All right. And with that being said, like you said, whatever is left over that I haven't used for retirement purposes, that is going to be paid out to my loved ones as a death benefit.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, Wayne says, is it ever too early to purchase life insurance? Is it ever too early to purchase life
No,
insurance? Okay.
I actually do what I call this is off the topic of retirement. I call it child gifting.
Okay.
So it's a life insurance for a baby that lasts them throughout their entire life.
Hmm.
So if a child starts at 3 years old, they get covered with the parent might pay into it for 15 years. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just hypothetically speaking, if I start them out with $100,000, right? By the time that person is 15, 16 years old, the parent is done paying on that policy forever, but that child keeps that whole life policy and the money is just going to keep on growing throughout their life. So it
Wow.
protects them if they go get a car, if they
Right.
want to get married, if they go to college, instead of you as a parent having to come out your pocket for that child, you're coming out your life insurance policy for them.
Right. Okay. Child gifting. I never heard of that concept before. It's a pretty awesome concept. Cool. And so you can start that. You said if they're babies, right? Because it's a
Mm-hmm.
policy that the parent actually sets up in the child's name. Very
Mm-hmm.
similar to a custodial account. Fye Finance Family is what I was talking to you guys about last week when we talked about investing. So a custodial account works the same, right? Like the parent sets it up because the parent is someone over the age of 18. And but the benefit, right, is going the beneficiary is the actual child. So it sounds like it's a similar theory, or I guess a process, but definitely connect with Sierra if you want to learn more about child gifting, because let me tell you, I have a daughter and I am dreading the wedding day because it seems like every year these weddings get bigger and bigger and more expensive and more expensive.
And more expensive, girl. She gonna break your pocket.
Absolutely not. Oh, she's gonna break daddy's pocket. Daddy gonna have to so daddy gonna have to get his own life insurance policy to pay for that. Not me. But definitely, things to consider, right? Being able to have that money for that, or for them buying their first home and not having to dip into savings or whatnot to do that. So, definitely a cool strategy to consider. So, we had another comment, I think, from Wayne. Let's see if we could get it back on the screen. So, Wayne says, Oh, he says, y'all, this is a blessing because this is some awesome information being offered that many usually have to pay big money for. Thank you, ladies. And he's right. People usually don't give this type of information for free because, time is money. But I love to provide a platform where I can just help others. A lot of things that I've learned the hard way. And so I try to help people not make the mistakes that I've made in the past. And that's just in my heart. I have a giving heart, a giving spirit. And that's why we connected, Sierra, because, like, we sat and had coffee, like what was supposed to be like a quick 30 minute. It was like an hour plus.
I was like, I don't want to leave.
Right, right. Because we both connected in that way, just a spirit of giving. And so, definitely, y'all, I'm letting you know, connect with Sierra. You are going to be in great hands. Wayne says, my daughter's husband will need life and health insurance. Okay, that's a whole nother topic, Wayne. We don't condone any violence by finance family.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
but definitely has been a pleasure, Sierra. Thank you so much for taking the time out to explain to us how we can use life insurance as a form of retirement planning. So before I let you go, I'm going to ask you: is there anything else you want to share with us? Anything else you want to share with the Fye Finance family?
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for bringing me on tomorrow. This is exciting.
Yay!
Thank you guys for being so interactive. I apologize about all my technical issues. I'm gonna get it together, but I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no worries at all. The pleasure was all ours. Like I said, I was over here jotting down notes. So, Five Finance family, I hope y'all were doing the same thing. But most importantly, make sure you jot down Sierra's contact information when the live is over. It's definitely going to be up on the screen for a brief moment. With that, we are going to call it a night. Five Finance family, make sure that you visit our Facebook group. It's called Fire Your Boss Entrepreneurs Unite. We are still giving away freebies in the group, and this week is the last week. We were only doing it for the month of September. So this week is the last week that we're going to be giving away our 5 freebies. So you have to use the hashtag 5freebie in order to qualify and be in the drawing for our giveaway. So it's Fye swag that we're going to be giving away. And again, this is the last week. So I'm encouraging everybody to go into the group, use the hashtag 5freebie so that you can be in the drawing. All right. Again, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Sierra, so much for being a part of the live. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful Tuesday evening. And until next time, Fye Finance family, see ya.